Hello students, today we will be talking about spherical mirror, but before we begin with the spherical mirror, let me show you the types of mirror we have. The first you can see, this is a plane mirror, right? The second one, if I touch it, I can feel it is curved inward. You can see this is curved inward. This curved inward and it is polished from the back side. So this mirror is your spherical mirror. And which type of spherical mirror? This is concave mirror, since the cave portion is here from which the reflection is taking place, and this is the bulged portion. Now similarly, this mirror, if I touch, now first I will only tell you with the touching. So this mirror, if I touch, this is bulged outside, like the back side of the spoon, and this is inward, and also it is a polished surface, right? So we'll be talking about these mirrors. Now I have taken a chessboard just to show you the nature of the image formed in case of plane mirror. Now what I'll be doing is, now students, you see this. I have kept a mirror in front and placed like this in the same straight line, and I have placed king in front of the mirror. And in terms of measurement, if I say, it is placed in a black square, that means after one white square. Now where you can see the image, it is inside the mirror. That image also is one square inside the mirror, right? So if I say, what is the total distance between the object and the image? It is double. It is now 2 squares. So this means if an object or a man is standing, let's say 15 centimeter or 20 centimeter, let's take 20 centimeter in front of a mirror, plane mirror, his image would be, and the distance between his image would be total 20 centimeter, right? What is the second property you can see? Second property is the image is erect. You can see the top. There, my hand also you can see, so it is touching the top. So this is called erect image. Inverted means upside down, means it would have been ulta, but here it is not. So clear? And the third thing is, it is of the same size. Same size means it is same as the size of the object. Clear? And now we'll be talking about the spherical mirrors. See, now initially when we were talking about the spherical mirrors, I showed you by touching it, but only I can touch it, you cannot, because that is virtually not possible. Now you see, I will tell you another way to find which type of mirror it is, and later on we will prove it also. So here you see, I have kept again, this is a spherical mirror. Now which type of spherical mirror is it? You can see the image here in the mirror, right? In the mirror, but the image is of small size. If I take the mirror far, the image is again reducing. But what another property you can say is, the image is again erect. Erect. Can you see the erect image? Yes. The top is at the top, and again the bottom is again at the bottom only. So this type of image is called virtual and erect, right? So this type of mirror in which the image is virtual and erect and smaller. You can see, if I cannot take it very far, I cannot take my hand very far, but you can see here the image sizes keep on decreasing. So this is your convex mirror. So this is one way by which you can identify the type of the mirror. So this is your convex mirror. Now you can see here the image and the object. This is a case of concave mirror where the size of the image is greater than the size of the object. And if I take this mirror far, the image would first disappear and then it would be inverted. So now if I talk about the nature of the image, it is virtual and erect. Erect means the stop is at the top, and image is also the same. Inverted image means if the object is kept like this, the image would be upside down. This is inverted image. So this is how we will identify without touching which mirror is what. Like for concave mirror, the image would be larger than the size. It is virtual and erect. But if we move the mirror far, the image would be inverted. And same with the convex mirror, the image would be virtual and erect and always smaller than the size of the object. Whereas in plane mirror, the image and the object are of same size, and it has other properties too, which I'll deal with in the slides. So students, before we begin with the spherical mirrors, here are the properties of the image formed by plane mirror. Now you can see here, this is a plane mirror. Why we are calling it plane? Because the reflecting surface is flat. So a man is standing in front of a plane mirror. The image which he sees is virtual. Object and images are of the same size that you can see in the mirror. Image is erect and upright. That means it is not upside down. Image formed is laterally inverted. That is, left of the man appears to be right and right appears to be left. Both the object and the image are at same distance from the mirror. That means if a man is standing, let's say 15 centimeter from the mirror, the image is also 15 centimeter inside the mirror. That is, the total distance between the object and the image is 30 centimeter. Now students, tell me if this is a plane mirror. No, this is not a plane mirror. Why? Because its reflecting surface is not flat. It is curved. So this is called a curved mirror. Now what can you say about this one? There you can see two curved mirrors. The only difference is in one, the reflecting surface is curved outward, and in the other, the reflecting surface is curved inward. So obviously now you can understand there are two types of curved mirror or spherical mirror. One which is curved outward called convex mirror, and another which is curved inward is called concave mirror. Now students, can you find the other example of curved mirror? Here you can see the picture of spoon. The shiny surface which is curved inside makes it concave, and the back side of it, or we say which is curved outside, makes that portion as convex mirror. So students, before we begin with the image formation in case of spherical mirror, we should be knowing the terms related to the spherical mirrors. So here you can see first is the concave mirror which is curved inwards, and convex mirror which is whose polished side is outward. Now you see this convex or concave mirror was a part of a hollow sphere, right? So I have drawn a sphere here. This is not a circle, this is a sphere. As sphere is a 3D figure, I cannot show here in 2D. So this is a hollow sphere. Same for the convex mirror. I'll draw it here, right? Now the sphere will be having a center. That center I have shown with the red dotted line. This is called the center of curvature. And it would be denoted with capital C. So now I have capital P for the pole, C for the center of curvature, and F for focal length. Now you see there is the distance from P to C, that is called radius of curvature. Like a sphere would be having a radius, that radius here is called as radius of curvature. Same for the convex mirror. Now you see there is a line which is passing through the center of curvature, pole, and extended towards the left side. Same ways for the convex mirror. This line, I have again shown it with the arrow. This is called principal axis. Clear? This is principal axis. Now there is one again very important term related to spherical mirror, that is called its aperture. But before we begin with the aperture, let me tell you one important assumption, that is the radius of curvature of a spherical mirror is always greater than the aperture of the mirror. Now what is aperture? It is a part of the mirror exposed to light. You can see here with the rays of light falling on the aperture. So this complete portion is called the aperture of the mirror. So before again we begin with our next lecture, you should all be well versed with the definition. So all of you should study properly, and before we come to the image formation in both the cases, please revise all these terms given to you. Thank you and stay safe at home.